your hair back. There you go. All that. Wow. Get up a little bit. Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Phoenix Novell, and I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Right Hustle. Now, this episode is about the inspiration behind my latest single, H.U.G, which stands for Help Us God. It's very much a true story. It's kind of hard to deal with having a loved one that has issues with drug abuse, that has issues with addiction. And I think for a long time, music has been my release. It's been the way that I have been able to cope with life. It's been the way that I've been able to kind of like poeticize my drama. I found a way to kind of like, it was cathartic in a way. Music is cathartic in a way to me. And I mean, I'm emotional when I write this stuff. I cry through these lyrics. I cry when I'm in a studio. I cry when I'm coming up with melodies and, words to describe what I'm going through in my real life. And H.U.G is based on my real life, dealing with a brother who is struggling right now, very much to this day, who is lost in a way in which I feel like I don't know how to help, because he's in a place that I've never been. He's in a place that I don't understand how to come back from. And as much as I've tried to verbalize and tried to kind of like rationalize to him the danger or the damage that drugs can cause on you, you can't talk to somebody rationally about something that they're doing to help them cope with something on an emotional level. It's like the languages don't match. It's like when somebody has an emotional wound and you try to get them to see the reason behind it, they have to work through those emotions the best way they know how. And I had to kind of rationalize the reason why a lot of people have addictions to begin with. Is because it is helping them through something. It's helping them feel better about something. It is helping them process something. And who am I to decide which way or which avenue is best for them to use to process something? I had to get out of my own ego. And I think that's what the first verse is about. He told me I could only show him the road and hope that it'll go. Don't force him to walk my path, because the hate will grow. Walk in my own shoes, he got a mind of his own. He has to answer to God privately and alone. I pushed him. And it's like, to you, something seems so logical. Like, well, why would you do this? You're destroying your life. Why would you do this? Just go to therapy and do this instead. Who are you to dictate how somebody copes? And I think it was very good for me to write about it, because I had to see, like almost in a meta kind of way, the damage that I was causing by trying to use my selfish, stubborn tactics on somebody who needed to process things in their own way. And so the first verse of H.U.G is a focus on me, number one, trying to understand better to stay in my lane and see how damaging it could be to try to push somebody along in a way in which they're not ready to move. Sometimes you alienate them further without meaning to. Sometimes you cause there to be a strain when sometimes you just need to give them love and have a listening ear instead of trying to dictate to them how they should live their life and how they're doing things wrong. So hopefully that helps somebody who's dealing with that themselves or who's dealing with a loved one who's going through something like this. The second verse of H.U.G is a few things. The first part is about relationships, that just the moment you turn on, that other person turns off. You know what I'm saying? And this is such a, the chemistry is such a weird dance to me. Emotions and being into somebody, and sometimes it don't work out. And you can't always say the way it's going to work out. You take a chance anytime you involve your heart. And this, that verse is where I said, and I don't even know if I know how to love. I'm too scared to be hurt or took advantage of. A lot of dudes be on some dumb shit. They playing games. When I get all up in my feelings and their feelings change. And it's true. So many people can relate, to finally letting somebody in after they chased and broke down all the walls and did everything they could to claw into your heart. And then suddenly it's almost like they got there and was like, oh, wrong address. Like they're lost or something, and now you're fully wide open expecting something real. And then it doesn't mean, of course, that they never was into you. It doesn't mean that it wasn't real. It just means that now things have changed. And so I had to learn how to not be so resentful of that person because they changed. Who knows why? But things change, and sometimes you change. And so I just decided that I was going to put my focus and attention on what can't be changed, and that's me, my hustle, my grind. What can't hurt me, and that's money. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can definitely go too far and be completely solely focused on money and material things that you have no soul or heart or even give a shit about how you get it. Because there's, come on. But I just decided that I was going to put love on the back burner for a minute until I was financially stable, so that if my heart did get broken, at least I wouldn't be broke. I didn't have to be broke and heartbroken at the same time. So if you got your money right, then it cushions the blow. Because if you get your heart broken, you get shot. But if you broke and you heartbroken, whoa, it's cold as hell outside. Because I've been there too. And the second part of the second verse is about my estranged biological father. The relationship that we stopped having when I ran away at 13 years old. And he was very abusive. He was a cold man. And my childhood wasn't great, unfortunately, he spent a lot of time in prison, and then when he got out, he reached out to me. This real talk. Like, if you listen to the lyrics of the song, real talk. And I'm like, no, he actually had the nerve to be like, hey, baby girl, like talking to me like I was still 12 or 13. Like, in all that time, he didn't realize that he lost all of my childhood. Like, and I was just basically like, look, dude, we have nothing to talk about. You might want to forget you even had me, because I don't hate him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think about him with such disgust every day. At one point in time, I did. But I realized that that's only hurting me if I carry that hate inside. I just don't want nothing to do with him. And you don't have to have something to do with somebody, but yet let them live and wish them well all the way over there. This is the difference. Some people think they need closure, that they need to be in the person's that hurt them vicinity every single day and make it work. You don't. You just have to forgive them in your heart. You have to let them live in your heart and not every day hope that, karma will kill them and strike them dead. You have to let it go in your heart, but you don't have to, be in their face every day to prove to yourself that you're over it, because come on now, that's not fair to you, and we don't have anything to talk about, because the things that I saw when he had a chance to be a father figure were less than acceptable for me. Even as a kid, I knew that this was just not it, not what I thought. Well, I knew fatherhood shouldn't be that. And there's nothing wrong with disciplining your kids, but I think he definitely had a lot of things going on in his mind where he didn't know the difference between discipline and abuse. and tough love and abuse, and he didn't know how to love his kids or the women who he was with. So I discussed that in the second part of Help Us God Hug as well. And the bridge is just me just losing it vocally in terms of just asking God, what is this all about? Help me, help us figure this shit out, because we are lost. It's too much pain, unnecessarily so, most of the time, because people don't understand what the purpose of this shit is. What the purpose of it is what the lesson is. And as much as we could be building each other up to find ways, the volume is much higher on the get rich, focus on you, grind, hustle part of it, and taking advantage of each other and just every man for themselves part than it is bringing us together and understanding that united we are here trying to figure out what the fuck this thing called life is all about. And so that is why I created Help Us God Hug, because I wanted to talk about issues that I know we all face. In some part and point in our life, we've all faced issues with loved ones, significant others, or even ourselves, having addiction issues, having mental health crises, having issues with our parents, having issues in relationship, in love, trying to figure out what the hell am I here for? What's the purpose of it all? Like, this is something that we all go through, and I think, unfortunately, we spend so much time focusing on the differences between us than the similarities. The similarities in our struggles, the things that we hide in the dark that we don't share with anybody because we don't want to appear weak, we don't want to appear lost, when we all are. We all have questions, and I think the beauty about speaking about those similarities is that it actually unites us. It actually makes it easier, because maybe you had this same issue last year, and your what you've come to learn and understand can help me as I'm going through it this year. But yet we spend so much time on race issues, or we spend so much time on gender issues, or ethnicities, or it's so much on culture differences, and that we don't realize and focus or put the spotlight more on the fact that we could actually help heal each other because of our similarities. So my song Hug is out now on all platforms, all social media platforms. Check it out, guys. I'm very proud of it. It was something that I've always wanted to talk about. I have songs that are very inspirational, but this is the first time I actually talked about the concept of including God and talking about that. And I said God because I'm not a religious person. You know what I'm saying? I do believe, and maybe it's just me hopeful that there is something out there, something. And I could be wrong, but that's why I use God, because everybody could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's a man or a woman, or if it's a gender at all. I don't know what the name is or what the backstory is, but I do believe that everything has a creator. Everything came from something. And so I say, if there is something, help us. Help us figure it out. Help us understand, because I think it'll help us as we're moving along to understand if there really is a meaning to all of it. And even if that just means that we put or make our own meaning towards it, it'll help us rather than fighting amongst each other on what's right and what's wrong. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoy my song. Make sure you check it out, listen to it, leave comments below. I love creating music, and I love more than anything sharing it with the world, and kind of like sparking a topic and discussion about everyday things that we all go through on a regular basis. All right, the song is called Hug, short for Help Us God. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Right Hustle. Until next time, stay blessed, guys. Peace. True story.
I could only show him the road and hope it'll go. Force him to walk my path and his hate will grow. Walk in my own shoes, he got a mind of his own. He has to answer to God privately and alone. But I pushed him. Instead of saying follow your heart, I rushed him. Instead of showing him where to start, build him up to yet later break him down. A grown man struggling cause his daddy wasn't around. Same mother, father by another, my little brother. We were young when they separated us from each other. Philly projects, only thing we knew was hard times. When mommy died, we were struggling to survive. Cancer, why God, no answer. I was only 9 and you were fresh out of Pampers. a track star, trying to fill a void with some toys and some fast cars. I got a whole lot stashed in the safe now, ready to wrestle daddy's ass for the takedown. He beat the shit out of my mother and so many other women and their children, and I know he out of prison. Does he think all is forgiven? Wow. Tried to reach out to me, nigga, what's good? You and me ain't reconciling, never understood. But am I too cold? Am I holding on to hate? Am I too old? Still waiting for my big break? I only got one life to live, so while I'm here, I'll give it all I got to give on some real shit.
Help us, God, see like you. Cleanse our hearts and make them new. Help us change, 'cause we need to. There's so much pain, we're calling you.
Oh God, I know the road won't be easy sometimes, but why is it so hard to cope and find meaning in life? Give me more peace and harmony, so I can be free.
Help us, God, see like you. Cleanse our hearts and make them new. Help us change, 'cause we need to. There's so much pain, we're calling you. Help us, God, see like you. Cleanse our hearts and make them new. Help us change, 'cause we need to. There's so much pain, we're calling you.
Show us the way. Can you show us the way? 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 Can you show us the way?